I have to make this video. This is something that has to be said. One thing both the Denver Broncos and YouTube have in common is that neither one wants to be held accountable. It's easy to ban, it's easy to censor for both. Also, the Denver Broncos have been breeding what I would call a toxic fan base that's different than anybody else. And we'll be getting into this, but the purpose of this video is some accountability. And I'm sure this will get banned. There's no cussing, no real violation of anything, except the embarrassment of both YouTube and the Denver Broncos / Walmart. I guess they're one and the same now. There is really, in my opinion, the Denver Broncos, they don't even exist anymore. It's Walmart that put a Bronco jersey around itself. I think the actual Denver Broncos that all of us old-timers, young people that think of the years of Denver Broncos, I think that Denver Broncos has been stored away somewhere deep in Warehouse 13, maybe next to the Ark Covenant or something. But what we see today has no really resemblance of that old franchise. It's just a fake, okay, like a fake painting they put in and call it the original, in a museum. But today, Bucket Man put out a video calling out bullshit. He has every right to, because these toxic fans had been death threatening, as they always do. YouTube doesn't have any problem allowing people to death threat Bucket Man. They hit those death threat comments up. That's why I'm making this. YouTube has no problem when the death threats come our way to leave those up. It's usually Bucket Man who will delete them. YouTube, a lot of people have gotten off YouTube, but even BitChute cannot withstand the wrath of the Walmart franchise. For me, Walmart is a very ugly corporation. I think it is a public partnership with the government in many ways. It partners, it's got its tentacles in. Anyway, but that's just my personal opinion on that. The crux of this video is to bring into the light of day what had happened to Coach Bucket Man. He put out a video. There should be no terms of services violated whatsoever. And that, the video did do was shed light on a situation that's an embarrassment to the Denver Broncos. And they must control YouTube or have a lot of say and a lot of pull, because that video got pulled down within 15 minutes. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to add commentary to it. I'm not expecting this video to last very long because, again, both YouTube and, I call it ThemTube and the Denver Broncos do not want to be embarrassed. It's okay for them to censor everybody else. And it's okay for them to create a toxic fan base that goes around death threatening. That's okay. But it's not okay to call it out, according to the establishment. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to call it out. I had told Coach Bucket Man, I said, you're going to make this video. I said, you need to tell me the second you get this thing loaded up, because I'm going to download off YouTube, and I downloaded an MP3 version of that YouTube video that he put up. You're going to hear what was censored by YouTube and the Denver Broncos. Let's just call it what it is. The comment that you see above is from X. However, I must tell you that the death threats that were given on YouTube, Bucket Man Scouting, was a lot worse than this. I just want to make that really clear. So YouTube is not innocent in all this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bucket Man Scouting, aka Coach Bucket Man. Before I get into this video, I just want to make a disclaimer. I'm not going to be cussing or saying derogatory terms. I put in a lot of thought in this video, and I would not be surprised if YouTube takes us down. So let's get into this video. I wanted to discuss the tweet that's in the thumbnail, because this has a lot to do with the crux of this video, in my personal opinion. And that's the gaslighting that's going on with this fan base, the Walmart General fans especially. So it's okay for a Walmart General fan to go on Twitter and death threat an innocent bystander who is wearing a Russell Wilson jersey to encourage him to go into oncoming traffic. And I get death threatened time and time again for just putting out film. Justin Simmons film. I put out film on the Denver Broncos. I even talk about the Denver Broncos. I bring you the cold hard facts and the truth. And I get death threatened and it's okay. But the minute I put out a film breakdown, it gets taken down. My channel gets taken down. How is that right? And you call that free speech? Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets taken down. I would not be surprised because I'm providing cold hard truth and the facts. But the tweet that's in the thumbnail is a byproduct of this front office. And it's much bigger than the fan base that's been gaslit for 9 years. This is a front office that needs to be held accountable, which myself, Bucketman Scouting, Coach Bucketman, Denver Broncos Mile High View, and the Mile High Bubble, the Great Mile High Bubble, have been addressing for years. And why are they consistently attacking us? Well, first and foremost, we didn't want the Russell Wilson deal to begin with. We were the very people that told you that Russell Wilson was going to get buried. He was going to get run out of town. And look what happened. He got run out of town. And year after year after year, you guys just believe anything that comes out of that organization's mouth. Oh, we're just a quarterback away. We're just an incomplete pass away from the AFC Championship game. Culture change. Where did you get culture change from? Because you guys weren't addressing that for years until we started talking about that, and we get no credit whatsoever. It's okay that we get death threats and our channels get taken down, but people can steal our talking points. This tweet is a byproduct of that front office, and that's why the title of this video is going to be The Denver Broncos Breed Mental Illness, because that's what it is now. That's what it is now. The very same people that are attacking that said individual to encourage him to go into oncoming traffic are the very same people that attacked myself, Denver Broncos Mile High View, and the Great Mile High Bubble. But they're never held accountable. It's always us three, right? Because we don't know what we're talking about. Okay. Just go look at our track record. And by the way, just to put in the facts, in the description below, I'm going to put in the links where we discussed the Russell Wilson deal when we happened, and we said that we never wanted Russell Wilson.
Well, it only took 15 minutes. But you heard Coach Bucketman before. He was making the video saying they'll most likely take this down because he knows the MO of both YouTube, I call it ThemTube, and the Denver Broncos. And what he did is he took the X post, the post on X. We've seen this so many times. You have what we call a Walmart General fan, a Denver Bronco fan, talking about running over this person because they have a Russell Wilson jersey on. And he said, just because I'm pointing this out, and this is nothing new, this is what just goes on, and people can get away with that. They leave that up, but talking about it, pointing it out, that's the crime. And he's right. Within 15 minutes, they took down his video. I just want to re-emphasize what Coach Bucketman was saying, that these same people that want to run over this pedestrian because he has a Wilson shirt, they were the same people who were giving us death threats when we said we didn't even want Russell Wilson because it didn't make sense. So the point is, why is this an ongoing occurrence with the same people who, if you say you didn't want Russell Wilson, are now wanting to run you over on your bicycle if you have the Russell Wilson t-shirt? That's the question we get into, or really Coach Bucketman gets into. And Coach Bucketman is going to bring this up. He talks about mental illness, and that's where I paused it. You know, what you're seeing in the Denver Broncos is mental illness. Because you don't see, and he'll bring this up, you don't see the Chicago Bear fans, Giant fans, Panther fans, Washington Commander fans. You don't see, even the Raider fans, you don't see these kind of attacks from this fan base. But I believe that because you have no accountability at this front office, it has bred, one gaslight promise after another gaslight promise, and the team gets worse and worse, and they up the ante with their splash moves with their throwing money at coaches like Peyton, who said, just like Nathaniel Hackett, oh, you guys are great. You don't have to keep practicing. Because again, they were just a incomplete pass away from an AFC championship, right? And then when anybody around the league says, you don't have a good team, it's just like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. No, we're not crazy. You're crazy for buying into this so much that you're going to run over a bicyclist because he has a Russell Wilson jersey. That's where the mental illness is.
No other fan bases do this. I don't see the Giants fan base do this. I don't see the Carolina Panthers fan base do this. I don't see the Washington Commanders fan base do this. I don't even see the Raiders fan base do this. And that's a byproduct of the front office who's been gaslighting these fans for 9 years. I want to talk about this front office because that's the whole crux of this. Because the front office continues to get away with all this gaslighting, all the mismanagement that goes on there. This John Elway-led front office that was put in place in 2016, 2017. Those are the facts. Patrick Walsh, Daryl Mugie, so on and so forth. The nephew of John Elway, Patrick Walsh, who's still in that front office. Myself, Denver Broncos Mile High View, have been on this from the very beginning. The very beginning. And I know that just pisses off the front office. This front office is hyping up Bo Nix, just like they did Russell Wilson when he got here, just like they did Drew Lock, just like they did Teddy Bridgewater, just like they did Joe Flacco, just like they did Case Keenum, just like they did Paxton Lynch, Jeff Driscoll, Chad Kelly, Kyle Sloter. The list goes on and on and on and on. Trevor Siemian. The list goes on and on and on and on. But we're never going to hold the front office accountable. I've never seen an organization not hold their front office accountable, unlike the Denver Broncos. I mean, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. The way they're talking about Bo Nix is just like they talked about any other quarterback. If we would have drafted J.J. McCarthy, who Sean Payton wanted, those are facts. Those are well known around league circles. Those are facts. Also, the Denver Broncos are trying to trade in the top 3. Those are facts. Those are well known around league circles. But even if we drafted J.J. McCarthy, if we drafted Spencer Rattler even, if we drafted Michael Penix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, they would have been compared to Drew Brees. They would have been compared to any other great quarterback in NFL history. Because the Denver Broncos are obsessed with the same gaslighting routine over the past 9 years. We're just a great quarterback away. Look at this quarterback. Look at this quarterback. Now I'm hearing, oh man, OTAs, mandatory minicamp. Bo Nix looks like the next Drew Brees. And I want to circle into this Russell Wilson point here that I want to hold people accountable for, especially the front office. We're hearing that Bo Nix hasn't had a bad practice yet. Russell Wilson had 6 bad practices this time last year. Weren't you the very same people that were saying that Sean Payton fixed Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson looks great. And I have video evidence of that. At Denver Broncos Mile High View, we covered that last year. This very time last year, we were being told, and we were being attacked by the same people that this tweet, the thumbnail, those very same people that were attacking us, saying we don't know what we're talking about. And I almost had to get lawyers involved because of all the death threatening and all the crap that was going on that this time last year. Because it was absurd how my channel gets taken down for just providing film breakdowns. But it's okay for these Walmart General fans to post tweets about encouraging fans, other fans that are just wearing a Russell Wilson jersey and riding their bicycle to encourage them to go into oncoming traffic. Again, the mental illness, the gaslighting that's been going on for 9 years is absurd. But that being said, you guys were hyping up Russell Wilson last year, just like you did under Nathaniel Hackett. And Sean Payton fits this organization like a glove. The mismanagement that goes on, Sean Payton fits it perfectly. He just came here for a paycheck, folks. He's not here for a culture reset, a proper rebuild, in which Harbaugh tried to tell this ownership group, if you want to properly rebuild this team and get rid of that front office. They went to him 3 times trying to beg him, come here. And the ownership tied their hit to this front office. And I warned you, folks. I warned you. You had Sean Payton last year attacking Nathaniel Hackett. When you people were the very same people saying that Nathaniel Hackett we're going to see offensive plays that we've never seen before. Under Vic Fangio, same thing. Under Vance Joseph, he's going to be a leader of men. Look how that turned out. And he was just a yes man for the front office, John Elway, that John Elway-led front office. Same with Fangio. Fangio couldn't get the defensive player personnel that he needed to run his defensive properly. And even when you did, even when you had Kenny Young and Baron Browning in the middle, they tore that up. But that being said, you had James Merilatt state his opinion about Russell Wilson last year, and he got death threatened and attacked for stating his opinion. I mean, the delusion and the mental illness that goes on here is crazy. I don't see any other organization, let alone fan base, gaslit the way that the Denver Broncos fan base is gaslit. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Every year we're being sold a bill of goods. Every year. Every year we're sold a bill of goods. Sean Payton. The new theme this year is Sean Payton. Is a culture change. He's fixed the culture. Really? It's 2024, and I still see the same culture that's been going on since 2016, 2017. How's that culture change? You still have the same front office that's been in there since 2016, 2017.
Every year, it's the same thing. It's either a coach, it's all his fault. It's a quarterback, it's all his fault. And yeah, this whole business about Bo Nix, he looks so good in practice that we're just going to call it off. We're calling practice off. If this doesn't ring Nathaniel Hackett days, the players basically running the show, in my opinion, because they're doing so well. And we heard that back with the Nathaniel Hackett. But I just want to talk about this Russell Wilson this time last year with Russell Wilson. We heard the same thing. But they're saying that, Russell Wilson had 6 bad practices. He had 6, and Bo Nix hasn't had any. That is categorically false. If you go and listen to what they said last year about how Sean Payton was fixing Russell Wilson, it was so evident. He was having such a great camp. He's not making any mistakes. That's all they talked about. Oh, he's fixing him. Oh, it was all Nathaniel Hackett's fault. Yeah, it's going to change now. Now he's got the kind of coach. We said this doesn't make any sense. Anybody with 2 brain cells, and we got attacked. And this really is also about being attacked all the time. And of course, YouTube has no problem with the people that support the Walmart product there masquerading as the Denver Broncos. They don't have any problem with personal attacks. It's people exposing those attacks, pointing it out. They don't want that. So I'm sure this will get taken down too. But Bucket Man makes a good point. It's just constant gaslighting. And if you don't go along with the gaslight, if you have a different opinion, it's kind of like everything else. If the Wizard of Oz here running the show says, monkeys will fly out of your butt, then monkeys will fly out of your butt. Pigs will fly right out of your fanny. Because they said so, but anybody that comes and says, no, that can't be true, well, they got to be taken down because the Great Oz says so. That's the way it works these days. Like I said, it just took 15 minutes for the Great Oz, for the establishment, YouTube and all their... I just think it's Denver Bronco has an actual inside account that can manipulate, definitely Bucket Man's. It's almost as if anything he signs up for, the Broncos have control of it via YouTube. YouTube allows that to happen. That's how bad it really appears. And we all know that these content creators pay for their likes, pay for their subs, a lot of them. And anybody can go do that. We could go and have subs paid and all that, But we just do it like it is. We show it like it is. And it's funny that these content creators with all these K followers, subscription, 20K subscription, when they have a live feed, they only get like 15 people. You got to ask yourself, really? You really have 20K? Or how many did you buy? How many did Walmart pay for you? How many did they buy? Because they even got more clout. They can buy even more. So you got to think about where your information comes from. And it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion. And that's basically all we're doing here.
I also want to hold this family-friendly content creators by the front office accountable. Because you guys are a byproduct of the front office that are gaslighting these fans and lying to these fans and your audience. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Honestly. You guys should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely ashamed. To sit up there knowing that you're lying to your audience, I just don't know how you can look at yourself in the mirror. You're gaslighting your audience just like the front office does. And again, you have the bat signal being lit, how Bo Nix looks like the best rookie quarterback so far. I've never seen this. Never ever in my time covering the NFL, the gaslighting that's going on right now. It's absurd. It is absurd how it's just gone to a different level, the gaslighting. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse year after year after year after year with this team. Year after year, it gets worse. And it's sad to see how far this organization has fallen. Because under Pat Bowlen, it would have never gotten this bad. I'm just letting you know that right here, right now. Under Pat Bowlen, it would have never gotten this bad and would have never gotten to the levels that it's gotten to. It's sad to see an innocent bystander just riding his bike, getting death threatened by gaslit Walmart General fans. That is a byproduct of the front office. Like I said, it's much bigger than the fans. It's the front office.
I think what's really clear from just, my observations is this ownership group does not, I repeat, does not like to be compared with that of Pat Bowlen in his time. And quite frankly, the Phipps, even Gerke's, even going all the way back, to the AFL days. I think the ownership far exceeds anything that the trust and now the current owners who embrace the trust have done. And I think it just drives them crazy to have those comparisons, to have Pat Bowlen's legacy. It just seems to be. Because what they're doing is not working, and it is never going to work. I think that the fact that you didn't get, I'm just speaking to the ownership, the fact you never got rid of that front office that brokered that Russell Wilson deal, the fact that you embraced it shows that you're a broken ownership. And it makes perfect sense why you don't want to be compared to the Bowlen ownership or even the Phipps or that of Kaiser. Because I don't think none of you know what you're doing. I think you had a chance. You had a chance, it seems to me, to completely wipe the slate off, and you could have brought in Harbaugh. And that's going to be a decision, I believe, that's going to bite you in the ass down the road. You signed on to this trust, and it was a huge mistake. This trust absolutely, the people still there, they absolutely want no accountability. They're great at PR. They're great at gaslighting their fans, but they have no idea how to actually build a winning franchise.
Walton and Greg Penner, you should be ashamed of yourselves. But the one guy that I want to hold accountable, the one guy that nobody holds accountable is John Elway. John Elway, you should be ashamed of yourselves for flushing down a once great ran organization. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be looking at yourself in the mirror knowing that you flushed a great ran organization down the toilet. And I get called a fake fan, death threatened by the very people that you created. You created these fans. Your front office created these fans, these incompetent content creators. You created them, John. And Joe Ellis, you should be ashamed of yourselves for going along with the bullshit. The trust, You should be ashamed of yourselves. This is worse than the AFL days. And you know what? The NFL as a whole is a joke now. I have linebacker. You might as well just have a woman play linebacker now. I said it. There are more positions out there that it's just insane. The level of touch football we're in. Flag football we're in now. This isn't football. The new kickoff rule makes no sense. It's sad to see. I would not be surprised. The NFL is such a joke now. The Walmart Generals might get away with it. They might get away with it.
I definitely want to address this soft NFL. Quite frankly, we're winding this down. I think all of us. It's just pointless. I can't even really watch the NFL. It's gotten so soft. In the name of safety, it's like this. If you're not safe, if you don't feel safe, don't play the game. This is what waiver forms are for. You know that it's not safe for a kid to go to urban air. Kid could fall and break its neck anytime. But that's why they have a waiver form. And if you think your kid's going to fall and break his neck at urban air, you don't send your kid to urban air. If you think you're going to slip on a bar of soap in the bathtub, well, then I guess don't go in the bathtub. There's inherent risks and everything. Football is a definite inherent risk. That's the whole point of football. There are plenty of people that love the game and will play it without all these safety gadgets that they've come up with. The defense, from the linebacking all the way back to the safety, it looks more like soccer now. Obviously, there's, using the helmet. I mean, there's some things, yes. But, big hits, they just don't want them. Don't touch the quarterback even when he's running. It's just, when do we put the flags on and let anybody come and play the game? Because they won't get hurt. It's gotten to that point. This kickoff rule should be a final straw. I just don't even want to watch it. The high school, college hasn't done that. I guess the other league, or the semi-professional, probably more of a semi-professional league, they don't have that. Hopefully they won't. Again, this is why there's waiver. I'll watch that if they play regular football with all the safety features. I've had coaches and I've had NFL, college, and high school coaches tell me how this game's being neutered. It's not even really becoming watchable anymore. But I guess if you don't really know the sport or never really played the sport, I guess, and you're just into it because you're into fantasy football, all the nonsensical things, the commercials in the Super Bowl, you wouldn't appreciate it. It doesn't matter. You're just, I guess you're a fan of some product out there masquerading as football. And I guess that's what it comes down to.
But I want to see results on the field. I don't want to see these family-friendly content creators, the mentally ill front office, tell me how great Bo Nix is. I got to see it on the field. And what I see on the All-22 film doesn't look great, folks. Even when he was at Oregon, it didn't look great. It didn't. Go watch the All-22 film consistently, and I get death threatened for providing the All-22 film. That's the sad part. The freedom of speech is gone. It's gone. You can death threaten an innocent bystander on X. You can death threaten an innocent person who's putting out film, who's speaking the truth. And I get channels taken down, and I get videos taken down, and I get death threatened. And I almost had to get lawyers involved. So the crux of this whole video is much bigger than the fan base. It's the front office. And John Elway, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. Absolutely ashamed.
Okay, I'm just going to end with this, is that even though I had told Coach Bucketman, I said, just let me know when you download this, or upload this video. I'm going to go ahead and snag it before it gets shut down. This organization is so fragile. It has to go after people. It doesn't matter if they're this fan base they're creating of people at death threat, because you don't buy the narrative that front office is putting out, and they're paid for content creators. It just amazes me how fast this video of Bucket Man's got taken down because they are so insecure. They're so insecure. I would not want to work there. I mean, I think anybody who didn't get hired by that organization, the Walmart organization masquerading as the Denver Broncos, they did you a favor. I would never want to be around that environment. And right now you have, again, it seems like to me a Nathaniel Hackett moment, Sean Payton. Oh, you don't have to practice, and I just know that's going to come back and bite him in the ass. Down once the season gets going, about him not having them practice. And you know what else is going to bite him in the ass is this Drew Brees comparison, because anybody can go look at the All-22 that knows anything about Drew Brees, and it's not even comparable. Bo Nix. But of course they would have said that with J.J. McCartney or anybody else, that they would, if they've gone up like they tried to do and get the person they actually wanted, you would have heard the same nonsense. And anybody, again, that disagrees, it's just one attack after the other. But I'm just going to also conclude with this. Anybody that's going to defend this mental illness, it's going to defend death threatening, you need to go get yourself checked out. That's for sure. But we got to call this out because this thing has just really escalated. He mentioned James Merrill. This happened last year, too, and it's been happening to us a long time. YouTube doesn't have a problem with it. They go ahead and ban everybody else that complains about it because they don't have any balls. You know, they can't stand up to Walmart, you know, obviously. So, you know, they're like, wait a second, these people have a right to say what they're saying. We do. I don't care about your goddamn terms and conditions. We're not doing anything illegal here. You know, we're calling out the bullshit. We have every right to do that. It's in our First Amendment. I don't care about your policy. Our rights absolutely trump your terms and services every time.